At a house where the police were ordered to search, two strangers came and blew powder at the police. After inhaling the powder, the police suddenly listened to them and left. Then the two strangers opened the door and entered the house and heard the sound of a child crying. They went inside and found the dead body of a woman and two living children. Then they took the two children to their grandmother. Just like that, the two half-siblings grew up under the care of their grandmother. The younger brother's name was Nathan, and his father was the most evil dark wizard in history. That's why the Wizard Association paid special attention to Nathan's development. Fearing that Nathan would inherit the dark blood from his father, every week they cut his arm to record the speed of the wound healing. Then they asked him if he could hear the heartbeat of others. These were signs that the dark wizard blood was awakening. Thanks to his grandmother's education, Nathan became a gentle person and had no evil thoughts. But because of his background, he was often discriminated against by those around him, including his sister. Nathan's sister was Jessica. She always blamed him for their mother's death. Nathan grew up in such a stressful environment. At the same time, when Jessica was 17, the grandmother slit her wrist so that Jessica could drink her blood. This was a special ritual of the witch family called the initiation ceremony. Each witch in the family had to use the blood of a relative on their 17th birthday to awaken their special abilities. Otherwise, if they did not have the blood of a relative, they would die. At night, Jessica's abilities also began to appear. Jessica's boyfriend was sleeping when he was awakened by snoring. When Kieran opened his eyes, he found that Jessica lying next to him had turned into a middle-aged man with a beard. Only then did Kieran understand that Jessica's ability was the ability to transform. Kieran tried to stand up but was hugged tightly by the man. Just when Kieran didn't know how to escape, the phone next to him rang, waking Jessica up. After awakening her ability to transform, Jessica was invited to join a special task force that specializes in hunting and destroying dark wizards. But before participating in the mission, Jessica had to undergo rigorous training. As a new member, Jessica was often ridiculed by her teammates for missing the target too many times. At first, Jessica didn't care, but when she returned to the dressing room, the opponent continued to mock Jessica. This person even said that Jessica and her younger brother were useless. At this point, Jessica couldn't stand it anymore. In order to get revenge, Jessica used her ability to transform into her opponent's form and took off the towel, allowing everyone around to admire her. Moreover, Jessica also transformed into her teammate's father and said cruel, sarcastic words to tease the opponent. At this time, when Nathan was 16 years old, he met a girl named Anna. Just because he talked to Anna for a long time, Nathan was beaten and humiliated by Anna's cousin in front of everyone. However, Nathan still chose to endure because his grandmother had taught him not to have any violent thoughts since he was young. When Nathan left, he was surprised to find out that Anna was the daughter of the president of BRO, the Righteous Witch Association. He even looked at Nathan with an unfriendly gaze. At this time, Nathan understood that it was best for him to stay away from Anna. But the next day at school, Anna took the initiative to come to Nathan. This was the first time someone was willing to be friends with Nathan, which made him very happy. However, what Nathan did not expect was that in the afternoon, Anna's cousin came to see him. Anna's cousin not only humiliated Nathan, but also insulted his mother. Finally, Nathan could not bear it anymore and became angry. Nathan picked up the bite and threw it straight at the opponent. Nathan's actions were quickly discovered by the Witch Association. He was then taken to their headquarters. There they warned Nathan that he had shown signs of violence. They had controlled Nathan since he was young to prevent him from becoming a dark wizard. But Nathan felt dissatisfied and protested. Nathan said that if he was bullied by others, he couldn't be able to fight back. To warn Nathan, they showed him how his father had hunted down the Witch Association. Images of murdered witches began to appear in the room, but only sounds could be heard and objects could be seen floating in the air due to the curse. Nathan's father then turned into a wild wolf and bit the witches to death and took their hearts to absorb their magic. After seeing those images, Nathan was extremely scared. Nathan didn't know how to face everything. That day, Anna suddenly asked to meet Nathan and expressed her feelings for him. As the two were getting closer, Nathan suddenly heard Anna's heartbeat. This made him confused and worried. When he returned home, Nathan had to undergo a weekly routine test. This time, the female coach noticed that Nathan's recovery ability had clearly improved. When faced with the coach's question, Nathan chose to lie. When the female coach asked Nathan if he could hear her heartbeat, Nathan still shook his head in denial, even though he could hear her heartbeat. But after the coach left, he felt worried and uneasy. At this moment, a figure suddenly appeared outside the window, startling Nathan. When he turned back, Nathan realized it was Anna. Nathan immediately ran out to chase her, but she ran straight into the forest. When Nathan had just caught up, he was suddenly hit hard from the front and fainted. When Nathan woke up, he found himself in an abandoned house. Anna and her cousin man had planned the whole thing. Nathan's sister was also involved. Anna's cousin didn't say anything and used a knife to cut Nathan's face. When she saw Nathan's wound heal quickly, Jessica asked him to continue. At this time, Nathan tried to fight back and accidentally pushed Anna's cousin down. Anna's cousin's hand accidentally stabbed Nathan in the stomach, causing him to panic and run away. Nathan begged Jessica for help, but she just looked at him coldly and left. Jessica left Nathan in critical condition. At midnight, his grandmother found out and took Nathan home. She gave Nathan medicine and used magic to save his life. Thanks to that, Nathan was able to stay alive. The next morning, Nathan woke up with extreme anger. He went to school and beat Anna's cousin up. Then Nathan used his fist to seriously injure Anna's cousin and disfigure face. After Nathan realized that he had caused a serious incident, he returned home and asked his grandmother for help. Nathan was afraid that he would really become a dark wizard like everyone said, but his grandmother believed that whether he was a dark wizard or a righteous wizard, Nathan was still a good child. However, his grandmother also understood that she was not capable of protecting her grandson, so she sought help from other witches. She took out a piece of paper containing a spell and asked Nathan to read it. Then she began to prepare a special incense. When his grandmother inhaled it, her expression immediately changed. It turned out that she had summoned a powerful witch into her body. The summoned witch quickly understood the reason why they called her. She took a knife and carved a symbol on Nathan's hand and said that when he was in a desperate situation, he just needed to call her name. Then the witch left his grandmother's body. At that time, the witch association also came to Nathan's house. According to local law, Nathan should have been executed, but a witch who owned a book of prophecy had previously left a prediction that only Marcus's descendants could destroy him. Therefore, Nathan became an important factor in destroying his father. They escorted Nathan to the car and took him to a secret base for training. However, the special forces escorting Nathan all hated him because of his identity as a descendant of a dark witch. On the way, they also beat Nathan mercilessly. Nathan's half-sister witnessed him, but not only did not help, but also smiled meaningfully. Fortunately, Nathan's strong bloodline helped him recover completely after a short time. When he arrived at the base, the female trainer only allowed Nathan to live in an iron cage. Every day, Nathan had to endure harsh training sessions, mainly being beaten or running. Gradually, under the training of the instructor, Nathan became stronger, but in his heart, he always remembered the peaceful days when he was with Anna. On Anna's 17th birthday, her father held a grand awakening ceremony. He asked her to use his own blood to activate her witchcraft ability. Anna's father had the ability to control plants, and her mother had the ability to control water. Anna was very much looking forward to what her ability would be, but she did not expect that ability to be beyond her imagination. The next morning, Anna tried to use magic on a flower pot. She tried many times, but nothing happened. This made Anna extremely disappointed. At that moment, the white mouse she raised suddenly crawled onto her hand and bit her finger. Immediately after that, the white mouse was crushed into pieces. Only then did Anna realize that she had awakened an extremely terrifying ability. Then she took out a pocket watch to try again, but no matter how hard she concentrated, the watch remained intact. This made Anna think that her magic only worked on living creatures. However, at night, when Anna slept, she had a nightmare. When she woke up, she suddenly discovered that her pocket watch had been shattered into pieces. This made Anna feel uneasy and wanted to talk to her father about this, but when she got to the office, she didn't see him there. Instead, she saw a magic book on the table and curiously flipped through it. In the book, she saw notes about a destructive magic called Mason that could instantly turn everything into ashes. This was an extremely difficult magic to control. At the same time, Anna discovered a portrait of herself under the book. She immediately recognized it as Nathan's drawing. This made her realize that Nathan's recent disappearance was definitely related to her father. It turned out that her father, Sol, had participated in the hunt for Nathan's father many years ago. Now Marcus is seeking revenge on them. Of the 12 people who participated in the hunt that year, only Sol and Cilia remain. Although the prophecy said that Nathan was the key to destroying Marcus, Sol was worried that he might not live long enough. So Sol decided to use an ancient and cruel magic, the magic of life trading. To perform this magic, blood from the heart of the closest relative of both the performer and the recipient was needed. Sol did not hesitate to kill his own brother to get them out blood from the heart. Then Sol went to Nathan's grandmother's house and used the same method to kill her. To cover up his crime, Sol drew an X-shaped symbol on the wall to blame Nathan's father. The next day, Sol went to the secret base where Nathan was being trained. Sol said that the plan had changed and that Nathan needed to leave. When Nathan knew that his grandmother had passed away, he was extremely sad and refused to leave. Nathan used his bare hands to knock down the guards in front of him, but because he had not yet awakened his magic, he was eventually defeated by Sol's magic. When Nathan woke up, he found himself in the headquarters of the Witch Association. Soul had tied Nathan up and prepared blood taken from the hearts of those close to him. Soul chanted strange incantations while carving symbols on Nathan's body. The magic was half complete, just waiting for the right moment to perform the final ritual. After Soul left the room, Nathan had prepared a hidden hairpin to untie the rope, but when Nathan just stepped out of the room, a guard discovered Nathan running away. This person pulled out a gun to shoot, but immediately his body began to crack and disintegrate, then exploded into pieces. It turned out that Anna went to the association headquarters to find Nathan and accidentally saw him in danger. In a panic, she unconsciously used her ability to save Nathan. Before the two could calm down, Nathan's sister suddenly appeared. The two hurriedly ran away and finally escaped Jessica at an intersection. They found a restaurant and sat down to calm down. However, Anna was extremely scared because she realized she had just killed someone. She felt guilty and worried that she might hurt Nathan. When Nathan tried to comfort her, Anna avoided him, not daring to let him near. Finally, Nathan took Anna's hand and said that it was not her fault. It was just that she had not yet controlled her power. But the danger was not over for Nathan. The witches of the righteous side would definitely come to arrest Nathan. Moreover, Nathan's 17th birthday was only a week away. If he did not use the blood of his relatives, Nathan would die. But Nathan's grandmother had passed away, and his sister would definitely not give him blood. At this moment, Nathan remembered the mark the witch had carved on his hand. Nathan thought that if he called the witch's name through this mark, he could find her and ask for help. They shouted for help. At that moment, the mark on Nathan's hand suddenly changed. Following the direction of the arrow on the mark, the two of them walked to a wall. Nathan gently knocked 3 times. Immediately, the surface of the wall began to crack, revealing a hidden door. When the two of them entered, inside, they saw a strange room. There was a white-haired man named Gabriel. When he saw the mark on Nathan's hand, Gabriel said, "I've been waiting for you for a long time." It turned out that this guy was the messenger of the dark supreme being Mercury. Mercury was the possessor of the supreme bloodline of all the witch families, so only he could help Nathan. At this moment, there was a knock on the door. It was clear that the pursuers had arrived. Thanks to his effective training, Nathan quickly defeated the first group of pursuers after just a few moves. However, this place was no longer safe. At this time, Gabriel took out 2 magic balls and said that they could use them to jump through the window and escape. However, Gabriel did not take into account that Anna was also with Nathan. So Gabriel asked that only one person use the ball and the other had to stay. But Nathan firmly objected, insisting that everyone had to leave. After saying that, Nathan gave the magic ball to Anna and told her to swallow it. At this moment, another group of pursuers attacked. There was no other way but for Gabriel to pull Nathan along and jump through the window to escape. As someone who had not yet awakened his magical abilities, falling from a height of dozens of floors like that made Nathan extremely panicked. But just when they were about 1 meter above the ground, both of them suddenly stopped in midair. After successfully escaping, Gabriel led the two of them onto a pirate ship. The next morning, they arrived at a small town, but that was not their final destination. Gabriel blew a magical dust that created a portal right in front of them. The 3 of them walked through the portal and immediately appeared on a street in Paris. However, when they returned to Gabriel's apartment, they found that the place had been ransacked. Gabriel's most precious item had been taken. To find the next portal, they had to retrieve it. Next, the group went to a bar to search for clues. The 3 of them were lucky enough to hear information about the location of the item. However, on the way to find the treasure, they were followed by the local police. Gabriel decided to let Nathan and Anna escape first, while he stayed behind and was arrested by the police. Nathan and Anna rushed to the bar and sought out a friend of Gabriel's for help. They then pretended to be lawyers to go to the police station and met Gabriel, who was being held. During the conversation, he used magic to control and knock out 2 policemen. From there, the group successfully escaped. Returning to the bar, they celebrated. At this time, they discovered that the portal to Mercury's residence was located right in the basement of the bar. What was more surprising was that the item Gabriel had been looking for all this time was just a book of 300 nursery rhymes. Nathan and Anna felt deceived and kept blaming Gabriel. During the conversation, they accidentally revealed Nathan's identity. When the people in the bar knew that Nathan's father was their leader, everyone's attitude immediately changed. However, Gabriel suddenly announced his withdrawal and left the bar. It turned out that they had also heard about prophecy that Nathan would kill his father, so the whole bar began to attack too. In the chaos, Nathan and Anna hid in a warehouse. After thinking about it, Gabriel decided to return to the bar. Gabriel used a magic potion to create smoke and tried to attack the enemy, but because the number of enemies was too large, Gabriel was still controlled. In the warehouse, Nathan and Anna discovered that the portal was right in front of them, but when they heard Gabriel's voice, they decided to go out and save him. This decision caused the group to lose the opportunity to go go through the portal. The owner of the shop held a gun to block the exit of the warehouse, forcing them to flee the shop because they could not use the portal to meet Mercury. Gabriel decided to take a dangerous detour. The residents of this area were very hostile to strangers, so they had to act extremely carefully. However, as soon as they entered the border, the group was discovered to have illegally entered the tribe's territory and was almost executed. But when the tribe knew that Nathan was Marcus's son, the elder of this place appeared and ordered them to be detained and invited the three to attend the ceremony the next day. During dinner, the elder revealed the secret about the dark wizards. It turns out that some dark wizards have the special ability to absorb power from others by eating their hearts. Nathan's father hunted down white wizards because they were jealous of this ability and plotted to destroy Marcus. The Wizard Association even spread rumors that those with this ability were evil. The elder was also a dark wizard who possessed over 100 types of magic that were passed down from his family members after their deaths. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Sol interrogated the pirates and determined the location of Nathan's group. Sol was on his way there. The next day, the ceremony began. They brought out a white wizard to execute in front of the entire tribe. This person had sneaked into their area and harmed many members of the tribe. They locked this wizard in a strange cage. The elder chanted a spell that gradually tightened the cage. Finally, it drained the white witch's blood. She started to take out the heart of this person and started to eat it. After the ceremony ended, Anna still couldn't accept what had just happened. At the same time, Nathan suddenly fainted. The elder quickly came to his side and immediately recognized the magic symbol on Nathan's body. She said that it was a parasitic spell. It was used to steal the witch's magic. The elder immediately sent her niece to get medicine to save Nathan, but not long after, the girl returned and said that she couldn't find the necessary medicine. Just then, there was a knock on the door. It turned out that the trainer who had trained Nathan had come chasing after him. She demanded that the elder hand over Nathan and Anna, or they would use force. The elder felt threatened and immediately chased the trainer out. However, when everyone was preparing to go out to deal with the enemy, the niece suddenly pulled out a knife and stabbed the person holding her in the chest. A villager tried to shoot the girl, but her grandfather pushed her away. That shot caused the white witches outside to start shooting randomly into the room, killing many villagers. The girl crawled closer to Nathan and took advantage of his inability to move, cutting off one of his fingers. It turned out that she was Nathan's older sister in disguise. At the same time, a white witch rushed in and shot the elder dead on the spot. In the emergency, Anna once again used her ability to disintegrate the attacker into pieces. Jessica, after witnessing this, temporarily retreated to save her life. Nathan's group then opened the secret door and tried to escape, but in the end, only 4 people in the group actually escaped. A girl from the Black Witch family who went with the group was lucky to survive. When they were about to board the boat to escape, the female coach suddenly chased after them. However, this time she did not come to kill the group but to help. On the other side, Sol, after getting Nathan's finger, decided not to continue pursuing Nathan's group. Sol said that they were almost there. The next day, Sol's group went to an amusement park. Here, the special task force captain of the Witch Association used his ability to cast a spell and made everyone in the park stand still. The captain did not want to kill innocent people, but Sol seemed to have other plans. He assigned the captain to guard the park while he left to complete the next ritual. Meanwhile, the captain discovered a dark wizard boy who had just turned 17. So the captain decided to hold an awakening ceremony for the boy and let him use his grandfather's blood. But soon after, the boy began to convulse violently. He discovered that the person he thought was the grandfather was actually Nathan's sister in disguise. Jessica revealed that she wanted to test whether her transformation ability could change the blood type. It was clear from the boy's painful expression that it was impossible. At the same time, the girl in Nathan's group also began to convulse. It turned out that she and the other boy were twins. When one person performed the awakening ritual, the other would have the same reaction. The special forces leader discovered a dead body while on patrol. Sol immediately realized that something was wrong. When he returned to the park, Sol found the boy dead. Jessica, on the other hand, did not care at all and said that it was too late. When Nathan saw the girl in his group die, he could not contain his anger. Nathan attacked the coach, the person who had promised to help them perform the awakening ritual yesterday. However, the coach was still Nathan's old teacher, so Nathan was quickly defeated. In anger, Nathan pulled out a gun and intended to kill her. Seeing that, Anna used her ability to disintegrate the gun in Nathan's hand. Nathan finally had to give up. Nathan walked into the forest alone. Anna slowly followed behind. But after walking a distance, Nathan suddenly fainted. It turned out that Sol had used Nathan's severed finger to complete the final spell. However, Sol also fainted. At this time, the memories of the two people began to share with each other. It helped Nathan see the truth about many things. It turned out out that Nathan's father was not the one who killed innocent people indiscriminately. Previously, Marcus had proposed to stop the war and live in peace. The two sides had agreed to negotiate, but on the day of the negotiation, the leader of the White Witch was arrogant and continuously insulted the Dark Witches, causing Marcus to kill all the White Witches present. Nathan also saw that his mother did not die of stupidity action, but was killed by the White Witch. As memories flashed through Nathan's mind, his vital signs began to decline. At this time, the coach suddenly remembered Anna's ability, so Gil asked Anna to use her ability to release the magic in Nathan's body. However, Anna was worried because she did not have complete control over her magic, so she hesitated. Finally, under the guidance of the coach, Anna succeeded in releasing the magic in Nathan's body and helped him wake up. Sol also woke up. At first, he thought that the magic had failed, but then he heard heartbeats around him. This was the ability that Sol had always longed for. Now Sol possessed the same ability as Nathan's father. By eating the hearts of others, Sol could take over their magic. After obtaining this ability, Sol did not hesitate to kill his teammates. Captain was captured by Sol. To demonstrate his power, Sol read the names of the team members and used the magic they once possessed. After witnessing this scene, the captain immediately understood that all the team members had been killed. Then Sol did not hesitate to kill the captain. Sol took over the ability of caption. Meanwhile, Anna and Coach Gil, seeing that Nathan was still sleeping, decided to leave. After all that had happened, Anna could not understand her father's actions, so she decided to go back and convince her father. But when Nathan discovered that Anna had left, he wanted to chase after her, but was stopped by Gabriel. Because Nathan's 17th birthday was only 2 days away, the important thing now was that they had to find Mercury to complete the initiation ritual. Then the two went to a warehouse. Gabriel began to mix medicine, then white smoke slowly rose and was sucked into a map. At this time, all the teleportation gates appeared on the map. When the two were about to leave, suddenly there was a noise from outside. Nathan quickly hid and Gabriel went out to check the situation. It turned out that a White Witch had found the place. At this time, Nathan took a tool from behind and hit him hard on the head. Gabriel tried to stop him, but it was too late. The man fell to the ground. Before dying, this man told Nathan that Jessica wanted to harm Anna. He came here to warn Anna not to go see her father. After saying that, the man also died. It turned out that he was one of the only White Witches left. Nathan felt extremely guilty for killing the wrong innocent person. Knowing that Anna was in danger, Nathan just wanted to go save her, but there was only 1 day left, so Gabriel was forced to drag Nathan to the portal. Then Gabriel blew out a cloud of magic dust, and the portal appeared. But at that moment, Nathan pushed Gabriel inside. Nathan decided to choose to save Anna first. Meanwhile, Anna and the coach were also attacked on their way back. The group of Dark Witches from the bar had discovered them. Coach Gil let Anna drive away while she was captured by the Dark Witches. However, the coach was very strong, so even though she was surrounded by these people, she was still able to deal with it easily. Meanwhile, Gabriel had arrived at Mercury's mansion. He entered carefully and skillfully, opened the mechanisms that required a password, and finally found the refrigerator containing blood. However, the strange thing was that all the blood samples were there, except for the blood of the Nathan family. At this moment, a woman suddenly appeared behind him. It turned out that the woman was Mercury, the queen of the Dark Witches. The blood of the Nathan family was in her hands. Mercury questioned Gabriel why he didn't bring Nathan here. She planned to use the blood to control Nathan, but Gabriel didn't bring Nathan. Mercury pretended to give Gabriel the blood, but when he wasn't paying attention, she blew out cloud of magic dust. Gabriel was hit by a sudden memory loss. He forgot everything about Nathan. He stared at the blood in his hand, then put it back in its original place and returned to his room. Gabriel still felt that there was something important he had not finished. He accidentally opened his precious book of 300 nursery rhymes and looked at the names in it. Suddenly, a few blurry images appeared in his mind. When he saw Nathan's name, Gabriel immediately remembered everything and decided to return to the basement. However, Gabriel tried many times but could not enter the correct password. At this time, a boy came out and said that password had been changed by Mercury. Then the boy gave Gabriel the correct password. The secret door opened. Gabriel finally got the blood of the Nathan family. When Gabriel went out, the boy also told Gabriel that there was a portal under his bed. When Gabriel was about to leave, Mercury appeared again. Seeing Gabriel determined to leave, she was very angry. She immediately transformed and wanted to kill him. Fortunately, Gabriel knew the location of the portal and escaped through this place. Meanwhile, Anna went to find her father alone. When he saw Anna, Sol was very angry angry and said that she should not come here. At this time, from outside came the sound of a wolf howling. It seemed that Marcus was approaching. At this time, Nathan's sister suggested to Soul that Anna possessed great destructive power. As long as he had Anna's power, he would definitely be able to defeat Marcus. On the contrary, if Marcus took Anna's power, no one would be able to stop him. At this time, Soul's eyes also changed. Anna realized that her father would resort to any dirty trick for the sake of power. At that moment, the dark witches outside began to attack. Anna took advantage of this opportunity to escape Jessica's control and ran outside. At this time, the war between the White Witch and the Dark Witch began to break out. Outside the castle, two dark witches summoned the souls of the dead witches in the castle. They awakened all the souls of the dead witches. This caused Soul to become completely dark. Hearing strange sounds around, the scene 20 years ago appeared again, causing him to fall into a state of madness. At the same time, Jessica chased Anna. Thanks to her familiarity with the terrain, Jessica quickly found where Anna was hiding. Jessica convinced Anna that everything she did was for the entire White Witch faction. Jessica told Anna to surrender voluntarily. However, this time Anna no longer accepted to sit still. Anna bravely faced the enemy and intended to use her power, but Jessica thought that Anna could not fully control that power. But Jessica did not expect that after these events, Anna had grown up. Anna easily controlled Jessica. Just as Jessica was about to be completely torn apart, Jessica suddenly transformed into Anna's mother's form, making Anna unable to bear to do anything. In the end, Anna decided to spare Jessica. At the same time, Gabriel brought blood and went to Nathan. Gabriel was very angry that Nathan would do such a reckless thing. At this time, a white witch suddenly attacked them and hit Gabriel right in the chest. Looking at the wound on Gabriel's chest, Nathan thought Gabriel was about to die, but after checking, Nathan discovered that the bullet did not hit Gabriel but only broke the vial of blood Gabriel was carrying, so all previous efforts were gone. This made the two of them a bit depressed. Elsewhere, Gil also came to the castle. Gil saw that Soul had gone completely crazy and decided to stop this monster, but Soul had a lot of magical power, so Gil was completely no match for him. When a group of dark witches broke in, they saw Soul killing Gil. With the power of dark magic, Soul brutally killed all the intruders. Even though he had joined the witch's path, he still thought about the witch's prophecy and went out, deciding to find Nathan and defeat Marcus. It was already morning, and today was Nathan's 17th birthday. If Nathan couldn't use the blood of his relatives, he would die. When Anna found Nathan and was about to take him to find his sister, Anna discovered that Jessica had escaped. Now the only hope was Nathan's father, so the three headed to the forest. However, when they entered the place, the group met Soul. Anna and Gabriel were forcibly restrained from moving. Soul decided to kill Nathan first. At this time, Nathan could only panic and run away. Suddenly, a white mist covered the entire forest, causing Soul to get lost in the mist. At this time, Nathan's father appeared beside him. It turned out that this white mist was created by Nathan's father. Marcus ignored the prophecy that would kill him and took the initiative to let Nathan drink his blood to complete the initiation ritual. Then Marcus said something very strange, that Marcus would let Nathan regain his consciousness and then turned away. Worried about the safety of Anna and Gabriel, Nathan turned back with a knife. But Nathan just happened to encounter Soul, who was looking for him. Although Nathan had completed the initiation ritual, his power had not yet awakened, so Nathan was attacked by Soul without any resistance. However, Nathan's fighting skills were not bad. Taking advantage of the moment when Soul was losing his temper, Nathan suddenly attacked from behind and stabbed him. This stab dispels the stasis spell of Anna and the others, but it could not kill Soul. When Soul was about to throw a fireball at Nathan, Gabriel suddenly rushed in from the side and pinned him down. At this time, Soul changed the direction of attack and focused all his strength on Gabriel. In this life or death situation, Anna used her Desi Mason ability and directly killed her father on the spot. Only then did they understand the true meaning of the prophecy. The three of them finally escaped danger. However, at that moment, Nathan suddenly felt a strong desire for the heart on the ground. At the same time, Nathan's sister suddenly discovered teleportation gate appearing in front of her. When Jessica entered, she arrived at Mercury's mansion. What will happen to her here when she faces the Queen of the Dark Witch faction? This is also the end of the movie. Above is the entire content of the movie. Thank you everyone for watching. Goodbye and see you again.